What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another vlog. I'm right here next to Mr.
Sneakerhead in the Bay.
Oh, damn. Alex and I is here. We're about to start this voiceover, so let's go. Today's project is a foo dog, which I outlined the previous session. Usually I shade the background first, but for this video I was like, hey, let's just start shading the head. Let's get some real content in. Off we go.
Let's talk about the differences in the foo dogs. So this one is a live foo dog.
This foo dog style, I call it, I call it a live foo dog. It has more like realistic feature, and the other foo dog is kind of like a stone, like, you know, the statue. And they come in pairs, usually like Asian plazas and big
businesses, restaurants.
Yeah,
they keep them at the front, or even in front of a house.
Yeah,
you'll see them.
Pretty much they're guarding the gates, they're protecting the gates. This one's a female. If you can tell, the baby's head is underneath the mom's paw. The
male has the ball of life under its paw, so that's how you differentiate the male and the female.
And yeah, they most of the time they come in pair, but I have tat clients that just want one, and I don't even think it matters. I just think it just looks sick. So it's art at the end of the day. All these years, people ask me a lot of things like, oh, do this, do that, and this and that. I'm like, to be honest, it's an art piece. It's on your arm. If you enjoy the art, does all that really matter? Yeah, if you want to go to, you know, a little story to tell, but if you just want one, I'm not gonna say, hey, you can't just have one, blah blah blah. Like, I don't get too deep in that. When a client messaged me, I just get down all the information that they want, but I would bring up that, like, would you like a second one? Yes or no? What do you think? And like I said, I'm like, it's your arm. I see tattoo, doing sleeve as an art. If I do a great job, it just looks good and it's a piece of art, and that's how I think of it. Yeah, I do get like a few people say, oh, can you do the good and bad, or what you can't do, what you should do, and I'm like, I tell them the same thing. It's like, you get what you want, man.
Would you say people do the live action more than the statue?
10 years ago, I felt like I did a lot more of the stone one, and then the live one was still kind of new. But now today, I feel like everyone is pushing towards the live one. But there are some clients that I'm like, I want the stone one. So that's, you know, that's what they want and that's what they get. Majority of the time when someone says foo dog, I'm doing the live one now. It's just because it's in style. Maybe 3 years later, everyone's gonna be like, oh, I want the stone one. I have done hybrids. I took like the stone feature and made it more like newer with a little bit more flowing hair, make it more live. But in general, like, I actually do foo dogs a lot too.
What are you using needle-wise? 15?
So about 3 months now, I've been using a 23 mag.
Oh wow.
And I no longer use a 15 mag.
15 was your favorite.
15 was my favorite. I was gonna
that was your specialty.
My career was gonna end with it. And then one day, I think Ray or Lauren put a 23 mag by mistake in the 15 box, like the holder. And I grabbed it by accident and I opened it. I'm like, I opened it already. I might as well use it. So then I tried it and I'm like, holy shit. I love it because one thing about this 23 mag, it's by Bishop. It's wider, but it actually has like a little curve to it. Because I don't like using curved mags because it's two curves. I like the edge to be cutting in the corners, like tight edges. I use the edge to get into tighter spot. So a 15 mag curve would be too weird for me. But one thing I use the 15 mag curve for is coloring. Because what coloring is, you're packing. You don't need the sharp corners. Because a 15 mag straight has it's just straight, so the corners are very sharp. It's like a square. When you tilt it, it's a sharper edge to it. But one thing about a curve mag is it's all rounded, like it's kind of taper. But a 23 mag has like a nice curve where it's not too curvy. It has like a slight curve. so you still get the sharp edge. You can get into tight spaces, but when you don't need the, when you're not on the side of the needle no more and you flatten out, 23 needles, man, you are brushing the art in like,
covers a lot,
it
right?
covers a lot. I felt like I got so much quicker. I'm just a lot faster now with a 23 mag, and I can pretty much use a 23 mag for all the details. And if I really comes down to tight detail, I have my 7 liner. My 7 liner would be a small mag for me. And for my outline, I use pretty much a 7 liner by Bishop too. So I only use really 2 needles to do a sleeve. Before this change, I was using a 15 mag straight and like a 5 liner, and then 3 months ago everything just changed. I just started picking up new needles, and changing needles, it takes a good minute to adapt to it, but once you feel like, damn, my work feels efficient, it feels clean, I can outline fast and I can shade fast, that is your new needle setup.
I noticed with the smaller needle setup, the lines look a little bit more shaky versus when I go to a 7, for some reason it looks a little more smooth.
When it's sharper and you're tattooing, like say you go to 3 liner, it's a little thin needle that goes into the skin, so your hand doesn't have the muscle to like stop the vibration because it's thinner. But with the 7 liner, it's a wider needle, so it feels like it grips your skin better and it prevents you from shaking so much. That's what this really is. But over time you'll learn how to control a 3, a 5, a 7, and find out your main stuff. But a 23 mag and a 7 liner has been pretty good. Recently I feel like my background for the cloud has changed. I changed a lot. I am working on some new background. The waves, I'm pretty happy with the way I draw waves already and the way I tattoo it. The clouds, I'm still like trying to develop a new style for it. For the past couple weeks, I've been focusing a lot more on background. I always do. One thing about the main piece, like you can draw a foo dog, place it anywhere you want on the arm. The background is like a lot more complex. How do you flow a background to connect the sleeve that goes in a circle and make it flow? Because to me, flow is the most important.
I've seen some backgrounds where it's a little too hectic and then you can't tell the difference between like the background and the main piece.
Yeah.
And it all kind of blends in. Yeah, background is pretty important. And I think that's one of the harder parts too.
Background, I'm still working on it. I've been doing tattoo for a good minute, you know what I mean? Like every year is like, what's your focus? I feel like if your background get better, your art just get better. Because background is all flow. Once you learn how to flow background better, you learn how to flow your piece with the background, and everything kind of flows together. It just ties a lot better. And I felt like I've been using more lighter tones because the 23 mag, I realized it's a different gauge. It's a thinner needle. It's 23 needles, but it's thinner, so it packs a little bit more fine. You get it? Like sandpaper, thicker grit will kind of give you a nice smooth, but it gives a little rough texture. With a thinner needle, it's kind of more like a nice smooth. Because it packs more fine, your pores will get darker. So if you wanted to shade waves and you want it super light, you actually have to be in the 2 drop and 1 drop. With the 15 before, I can do a 4 because it's a thicker needle and it's like more, it doesn't get packed in as tight. So you have to switch your tones too as you switch needles. But yeah, if you guys are new to tattooing, focus on the background, and shading is very important. Learn how to be very smooth. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. Whatever you do, make it smooth. You just work on like little inch by inch being smooth, and that's my secret. Just start off smooth and stay smooth, because if you start out rough and you continue, it's gonna heal rough in that area, and the rough spot's probably the spot that you rush. You know what I mean? It shows. For a full sleeve, I usually cut off 1/2 inch above the wrist bone. Because nowadays, a lot of people, they wear watches, and especially Apple watches. They want the tattoo behind the Apple watch. So the sleeves are actually ending 1 inch higher.
It messes with the sensors.
I don't wear an Apple watch. I don't wear any watch, so you know what I mean? Why, is yours lower than the watch?
This one's lower. This is where I usually wear my watch, but the sensor won't.
It won't pick it? So, yeah, if you have a full sleeve and you have tattoos over the area that you have a watch, it'll probably do some effect to it. It just won't work. Like, won't take your...
Sometimes I think it doesn't think I'm wearing the watch, so
Oh, no?
I don't get the vibration. And then sometimes it does read it, so it's like 50-50.
But look at the way that I cut the sleeve. Try to end it like very smooth out to the wrist.
You leave it open like this. If he wants to extend it, it's easier to connect, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you do things light, it's easier to connect with the light tone a little bit darker and drag out. But hand tattoos are pretty rare to me still. I get people DM me, hey, I want you to blast my hands. I'm like, I'm not just gonna do a hand tattoo. You gotta book like a sleeve from me, and then if you want it to extend to the hand, I'll extend to the hand. But
Not
if
just...
you just DM me and say, hey, I want a hand tattoo, most likely I'll probably have Vu or someone in the shop that does hand tattoo more regularly do it. It's just, I don't know, I focus my day in, day out on like sleeves and stuff. I'm just gonna keep booking sleeves and doing what I feel comfortable. 5 years in, when I was tattooing, about 5 years, I was still thinking about everything. I was still doing a lot of projects that, like, oh, I never done that before, let's do it. But now I just feel like I just want to do what I do good, and I don't mind doing what I've been doing. So I'm not like in a phase of like experimenting.
You're past the...
Yeah, I'm not like, I'm not really like, oh, I want to do realism now. Like, no, I don't want to do realism. I don't want to do all that. I'm just trying to continue doing what I do. So I finished the outside, the female foo dog, and if you look inside the arm, I have a male, and that's how most time I pair them up, inside, outside, or at the bottom of the forearm and upper forearm. But I feel like it's kind of cool to have a foo dog, male or female, one on each side. It's kind of like a yin and yang. Today's project I'm working on is a 2 koi fish, one on the inside, one on the outside. And the cool thing is, like, you show someone the outside arm, a foo dog, and you're like, boom, you twist your arm, and the other, it's like male and female.
Surprise.
I just feel like it fits better like that, instead of like having one on top of each other.
Stacked, yeah.
When it's stacked, I feel like it's so redundant. I did the stack one for many years. You did one on the inside, one on the outside. You have a whole open space on top to do something so different. Like this arm, I have a dragon on top, which is cool. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy today's vlog.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys for the next one.
Later.